Hello, dear friends. The most difficult moment is when the old has not just died and the new has not just been born. Opinion piece, new start, movies ending. Change is a shock. Human regeneration. The end is a beginning. It's not the end, but the beginning. Let's start. The gypsy saying, I don't want a son of good principles, implies the idea that an easy or unchangeable life does not lead to a good long-term result. Facing obstacles and challenges early on is often beneficial for personal development and long-term success. Adversities can strengthen a human being, teach them teach him important lessons, and prepare him to face future challenges more effectively. Those who have had to overcome obstacles early in life have developed a resilience and determination that serves them well in the future. Big changes are always accompanied by a strong shock. It's not the end of the world, but the beginning of a new one. Every new beginning comes from an ending. What sometimes seems like an end is actually a new beginning, a new opportunity to turn your failures into achievements and your past mistakes into valuable lessons. A new beginning symbolizes a fresh starting point, an opportunity to start something new. It implies a positive change, renewal, or restart after a period of transition. It comes after the end of the movie that represents the closure of the main plot. Conflicts are resolved, character experience change, and questions posed through the film are answered. The ending is designed to evoke an emotional response in the audience. It can be a shocking twist, an emotional moment, or a revelation that leaves a lasting impression. Beginning and end. We are reaching the end of the movie, the end of the show, the end of the old three-dimensional illusion. But every ending implies a beginning, and now is the right time to focus, not so much on the end, but on the new beginning that it's starting to sprout everywhere. According to Saint Germain through James McConnell, consciousness rises everywhere, frequency increases everywhere, which raises consciousness. Dot. And as more people raise their consciousness, the more they will do so, because eating and scratching everything is starting. All of us as a collective unit disintegrate the veil between dimensions as we progress in our ascension process. While we focus or you focus on the negative things happening in the world, many good things continue to happen behind the scenes. But those who have eyes to see and ears to hear are aware of these things, and the public will begin to become aware of these things every now and then, once again. Not all, of course, but many more will awaken, and they are in it now. Origin. Here is a passage from Matthew Ward in which he discusses our crystalline bodies and collective consciousness. At some point, the archangels had the idea of creating physical forms for souls who desired it. That was the origin of the genetic code and the building block elements of the physical body. Within DNA are photons, which absorb and radiate light that produces bodies with crystalline cells that contain cosmic consciousness and have the ability to live in the frequencies of the highest celestial planes. Over time, some souls, whose negative actions led them away from the light, used their free will to degrade the DNA of newer, less experienced civilizations. The changes produced dense bodies with DNA containing electrons, which emit much less light and vibrate at much lower frequencies than photons. The diminution of light caused a reduction in consciousness, brain functioning, and life expectancy of those civilizations. They lost all knowledge of their beginning. The awakened body was vulnerable to disease, and their temperament included fear and all its negative byproducts, such as cruelty, greed, anger, lust for power, injustice, impoverishment, division, and hate. The opposite of love is the absence of light. These are the conditions of third density civilizations. It is not that no body on earth has photons and that there are unimaginable amount in the atmosphere, but electrons are dominant in the vast majority of the population, and that is why they are delayed in spiritual awakening. That's why they have electronics and pay to use them instead of having free photon energy. The way to ascend to planes where photons outnumber electrons is increasing the amount of light in the collective consciousness, awareness. The energy is neutral. It is the thought forms that adhere to energy currents that are positive or negative. The forms are created by the thoughts, feelings, and actions of each being, and together they determine the density of a civilization or the state of a spiritual and conscious evolution. This is why Earth, a fifth density soul spiritually and consciously, may be in the beginning stages of fourth density location, wise and most of her people are in third density state of evolution. Animals and plants absorb more light than most of humanity. At this time, people's light varies from bright to enough to keep the body alive. Now, every human being and everything in the world emits frequencies in line with the level of consciousness of each form, and that is determined by the amount of light in each one. The atoms of inanimate objects have minimal consciousness. The exceptions are crystals and gold. We have, we have a high grade. The level of consciousness of the ground is higher than that of objects, and so is that of slugs, worms, and short-lived insects. Higher up the scale are insect species that have a well-developed hierarchy and a clearly defined working system within it. Opinions. Advice for Anna von Wright. We are heading into a potentially tumultuous week. Don't panic if the news is good or bad. Take any media furor with 2 grains of salt and protect your peace of mind with a healthy degree of skepticism. Do not let your hearts be troubled, nor be afraid, for this time has come. A new world is approaching, and we face it with our heads held high and our tails on the ground. God bless, God bless all. Excuse me. God bless us all. According to Paris data, as we approach the end of the year and the middle of winter before reaching spring, we can see wonderful movement towards freedom and peace on earth, as those who speak the truth and take positive measures correct the negative momentum created by the forces of darkness trying to take over the world. Countries and states are taking important steps to correct the tragic mistakes made in recent years. Argentina and other countries are spelling the central banking clique to revive their economy. This bodes well for many positive changes next year. Europe. In Norway, a fleet of electronic buses has been closed because the batteries do not work in cold weather. Ursula von der Leyen finishes her speech in the European Parliament between loud barks. It was a dog of one of the people watching the session. Meanwhile, in Ireland, the government is trying to criminalize memes. This is from the Middle Ages. This is not something we would expect from a modern and progressive country like Ireland, wants journalist Michael Schellenberger. Musk believes Ukraine lost Crimea and Donbass and risks losing more. Mike Adams predicts a false flag cyber attack that would take down electrical banking and telecommunications infrastructure. Argentina. The government of Argentina devalues the national currency. The government of Argentina announces that the removal of subsidies begin on January 1st. Interannual inflation in Argentina reaches 160.9% within days of Milei's inauguration. Argentina begins to remedy its ruin. The head of the economy, Luis Caputo, spent most of his first televised speech explaining how he became addicted to debt, for which the only medicine is shock treatment. The Fed maintains rates between 5.25 and 5.5% for the third consecutive meeting. Curious. University of Miami researcher Sakrat Keith Roeth and his group are perfecting a method to talk to the brain without wires or implants. According to Cliff, UFOs that can be seen in the third dimension would be the bad guys, and radionic light ships would be the good guys. They are called the Heavenly Host. They come from all over the cosmos and are here to help with the cleanup. The fleet is in the fourth dimension and cannot be seen with the naked eye. However, their magnetic fields produce different patterns of magnetic clouds in the atmosphere that can be seen with the naked eye and are their signature. Curious facts about the genetic of blue eyes. Brown was the only eye color until thousands of years ago, when there was a genetic mutation that caused people to have blue eyes, which is determined by the amount of melanin in the eyes that dictates the color of the pupil. Men with blue eyes are not desired by their blue-eyed female counterpart, who love brown eyes. People with brown eyes reflect light better and are less likely to suffer from eye problems. Chinese humanoid robot factories will come into operation in 2025, producing millions of robots with artificial intelligence brains that will take the place of humans everywhere. Warehouse workers, office workers, healthcare workers, fast food workers, and even doctors would be replaced by humanoid robots powered by artificial intelligence. It is announced that the entire production supply chain will be operating at full capacity by 2027. Meanwhile, Microsoft just launched a new ecosystem of AI agents for business flow that will replace nearly half of the white-collar workforce in office jobs, banking, insurance, government, education, and other industries. This is no longer science fiction. Half of the human workforce is on the verge of becoming obsolete, hence the drive for global depopulation. But that is not ethical. Mystery explained. A camera captured the disappearance of Malaysia Flight 307 in a flash of light. According to Kim.com, there is evidence in a 2014 video that technology exists that most would describe as extraterrestrial. Objects that fly with some form of gravity propulsion with incredible speed and maneuverability, protected by a layer of vacuum that can penetrate anything. These advanced objects appear to be capable of creating portals that can make a Boeing 777 plane disappear in an instant. If this technology is real, nuclear deterrence would be meaningless. These objects can travel faster than any missile and create poles that could make any plane, missile, submarine, or satellite disappear. What makes this discovery so controversial is that this technology was supposedly used to make Flight MH370 disappear, a tragedy that is surrounded by many conspiracy theories. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.